Misty, would you call the roll, please?
David Burris,
Here.
J.R. Huddleston,
Here.
Deborah Johnston,
Here.
Bill Lukens,
Here.
Larry Pratt,
Here.
Craig Romey,
Present.
Caitlin Turner Green, Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As always, Council, if you have any conflict of interest items, please let the Council know before you vote. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the January 3rd council meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 3rd council meeting.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That was for the minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that was Linda. I don't think my mic's on.
Okay, so the second was by Linda and you opposed. Thank you.
The motion passes.
I think Deb's is working here. Oh, it is.
Testing. It's working.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Need a motion to approve the bills in between.
Make a motion to approve the bills in between in the amount of $178,737.50.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Motion to approve the current claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the current claims of $18,152.36 and the 2021 accounts payable $23,444.62.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Communications from the public. The one on the agenda, Shedco, Andrea Powers, she's not able to speak with you folks tonight. So we'll have her, we'll reschedule her for 2 weeks.
Mayor, did we miss Part B?
Say again?
Did we miss Part B here? Or did I miss something? Current claims and 2021 accounts payable? No?
No, we just did.
Well, no, we did them both on
Yeah.
the same motion.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Andrea asked to be scheduled for the next council meeting. Do we have anybody else from the public that would like to address the council? All right. Council updates. Olivia is in Pier, so she won't be joining us tonight, so we'll get her on the next agenda. Personnel, need a motion to approve personnel item A.
Make a motion to approve personnel action item A.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Resolution A, need a motion for Resolution 2022-5.
Make a motion to approve 2022-5 to amend the citywide fee resolution, Southern Hills Golf Course punch card and cart rental rates.
Second.
Discussion?
Roll call.
So this is still cleaning up the citywide fee resolution, addressing some other items that need to be amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a resolution. We don't need to do a roll call. So you didn't vote. Where are you at on it?
Yes.
You're in favor? All right. So we have unanimous?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right. On to ordinances, and thank you for the reminder about a roll call.
I was early.
Ordinance, item A, is second reading of ordinance 1239.
Make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1239, an ordinance revising Title III Administration, Chapter 31, Ward Elections, 31.02-31.05, Ward Boundaries.
Second.
Discussion? As a reminder for the public, we adjusted, if the council approves this, it will be adjusting Ward 1 to bring a small portion out of Ward 3 and add those voters to Ward 1, and then a small adjustment to Ward 4, bringing some voters in Ward 2 into Ward 4, and it's to balance out the number of voters in each ward, so they're equally representative of the voters in the city. There will be a map, an updated map put on the city's website so you can take a look at it. The important thing in this is it doesn't change any existing council representation for the wards. The existing council people for each ward will stay in the same ward even with this small redistricting. As JR reminded us, Misty, would you call the roll, please?
David Burris,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Craig Romey,
Yes.
Linda Varvel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Ordinance item B, first reading of ordinance 1240.
I make a motion to, to approve the first reading ordinance of 1240, an ordinance transferring 20 lots in the Boulder Falls addition from rural service district to urban service district.
Second.
Discussion? And all of those lots are attached in your packet? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
David Burris,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Craig Romey,
Yes.
Linda Varvel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Old business item A, a possible motion discussion to act on the application from Belgium Midwest.
Make a motion to approve the application from Belgium Midwest LLC, doing business at Dollar General Store, number 22788, for new on-off sale retail malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine license, and a new on-off sale retail wine and cider license. It was tabled 12/20 of 21.
Second.
Discussion. So if you'll remember, when this was discussed at the December 20th council meeting, there were a number of folks from the public who had stepped up and raised concern about this particular license. So we gave ourselves some time to take a look at it and asked our attorney to take a look at it and then provide his opinion. And it looks like we have some folks from the public that would like to speak again. So after the public's had an opportunity to weigh in on this one more time, then I'd like our attorney to come up and give the council his opinion on this application. So, Bob?
Robert Paul, 1327 Schofield Street. I expressed concerns over this matter on the 20th of December. I still have the same concerns. I asked at that time whether or not there had been any consultation with the police department regarding whether they had any misgivings or if they had any comments about the granting of this particular liquor license. I also have a couple questions concerning procedure with Dollar General. I don't know whether there are any people from Dollar General here tonight speaking in favor of this. My understanding is that you need to have an employee of 21 or older in order to sell liquor. I kind of wonder if they are going to always be able to staff with people of 21 and older. I know they have had staffing problems in the store on 23rd in the past. And I'm also wondering at the how extensive the training is to their employees on sale of liquor. Thank you.
My name is Carl Bockert, 1317 Sherman, and I'm not in favor of having liquor sold there in that it is a residential neighborhood, and also because within a block and a half south of that, the Spring and Mart or the Mart down by the Plunge already sells liquor. It's not really a necessity up in there. The people, we've got two motels, the Log Cabin Court and the Skyline, and both of those have residences and families staying there. One adjoins that property. We have kids running around there all the time. We also have a business across the street that's right now closed, but the Dewdrop Inn has kids. We don't need crazy drivers coming in and out of there because they've been drinking. We don't need the trash that the drinking produces. Right now, their parking lot, I've watched it. When they've cleaned it off, we don't have all the little liquor bottles and all the trash from the liquor bottles and stuff in their snow and in their parking lot and in the lawn areas. And I know that as soon as it becomes a liquor selling, that occurs. And we're a block from it, and I really don't feel that with the highway right there, you have the traffic coming down and into town, and not always are they within the speed limit, and you've got just possibilities for a lot of problems. And all around that, it's all residential. We really would like to keep it a quiet neighborhood without major problems, and I feel that the liquor sales at that location will generate problems. It's also adjoining the VA, and the VA with their therapy and things don't need to have a liquor store adjoining their property. Thank you.
Hey, Carl, they're not going to be
Yes.
selling liquor?
Well, as far
beer
as
and wine.
They don't have the little bottles and all that kind of stuff in there?
No.
All right. Well, I'm still opposed to having alcoholic beverages sold at that location of any type.
Hello, my name is Sarah Harper. I'm the new store manager of the new Dollar General that we are speaking of tonight. I just wanted to give you a heads up of Dollar General's overview of everything as far as beer and wine sales. Dollar General and beer and wine sale training is a 30-minute computer-based course that prepares employees to sell beer and wine in a legal and responsible manner. It is required for all Dollar General employees working in stores that sell alcohol beverages. It is available on the StoreNet computer in all Dollar General stores. Each section of the course is followed by an assessment quiz. The employee must score 100% on all assessment questions to successfully complete the course. Each week, district managers receive a report that lists which employees have completed training in all stores. Beer and wine team members also follow up with non-compliant employees to ensure course completion. Goals of the course are encourage the sale of beer and wine in a legal and responsible manner, prevent sales to underage and intoxicated customers and customers that may be buying for an underage person, reduce business practices that may lead to accidents, injuries, and deaths due to intoxication, learn how to properly check IDs, and refuse sales. Course content overview. Why verify ID? Check ID for alcohol beverages purchases every time. Refuse services to anyone under the age of 21. or to anyone who appears to be intoxicated. Alcohol may not be open and consumed on premises. Review of penalties associated with sales of alcohol beverages to minors. Effects of alcohol and addictive behavior. Signs of intoxication and how to identify. Explanation of blood alcohol content, BAC levels, and behavior at certain levels. Review of law regarding controlled substances. How to refuse sales to intoxicated customers. Sales to minors and age determination. How alcohol laws are enforced. Acceptable forms of ID. Identifying false and altered IDs. How to determine legal age of a customer. Responsibilities and consequences of a third-party sales. Liabilities of illegal sales. Criminal and civil liabilities for illegal sales. Legal and responsible management. Description of prohibited behaviors. Requirements for licensed premises. How minor employees may handle alcohol sales. And we do not, I have one minor employee. And every time a customer comes in, and at this point I have no alcohol, so when someone comes in and wants to buy tobacco, she has to have an associate over the age of 21 to take over the register. When they take over the register, and it prompts her to not make the sale. So when we take over the register, we have to put in our own cashier numbers and complete the whole transaction, all the way down from the change and the receipt. She has no control over that whatsoever. And I only have one minor employee. Everyone else is over the age of 21. So description of prohibited behaviors, requirements for licensed premises, how minor employees may handle alcohol sales, rules against gambling on premises, short review of states. I just want to put my insight on it as well. Dollar General in perspective, we just want to do what's best for our customers. We want to have them happy. However it may be, whether we sell alcohol or bread, we are there for their convenience as a general store. I know our other Dollar General sells alcohol, and I just know that it brings in a lot of sales. And I know that summertime is coming, and we have Colebrook right there, the reservoir, that people are going to be camping, the last minute things, either going out of town or coming into town. We're a really convenient location, and I've heard that from numerous customers. I love it on this side of town. Well, if we don't sell the alcohol, yes, they have a store down the street, but then they have to go across town, and that's the whole point of having the convenience store there. So that's my point of view. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Mayor? All right. Can I speak? Or you got somebody else?
Bob was asking about the police department's comments, concerns about that particular location. Chief Winscott? Thank you for being available. Did you hear Bob's concern?
Yes, I did. I know that I ran some numbers based on previous calls. They're actually about the same as last year at Skyline. I don't think any of that affects the business at Dollar General. Right now, they're walking to Corner Pantry anyway to get alcohol. If they want alcohol, they're going to get it. I don't think Dollar General having alcohol will affect any of that, honestly, from a law enforcement perspective. I just don't know that we can rightfully decline their request for a liquor license based on another business either. I don't know that that's right either. So that's my perspective from a law enforcement side. I don't remember the exact numbers. I had given them to Mr. Lukens. I don't know if you want him to read those or if you want me to, but.
When we get into general questions and comments from the council, then we'll ask
anything else?
Bill to share that. Bob, are you looking for any other information from the police department?
Not from the police department. I'd just like to add a couple other things after hearing the lady from Dollar General. I've got to say my concerns are probably a little more strengthened on having a 30-minute on-video training session for selling alcohol. And she brings up the point of the proximity to Coldbrook. I think the last thing we need to do is have a convenient source of alcohol for the people camped out at Coldbrook or going out there partying. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Chief Winscott. Larry, do you have specific questions for anybody that's spoken so far, or are you going to weigh in after everybody?
I want to weigh in.
Okay. I'd like to ask our attorney to share his thoughts. We did ask him to take a look at this and see what, as a council, what we're able to judge.
I'll start off by saying the council has the authority to approve or deny this application. It's a pretty broad authority, but it's narrowed down to two particular criteria. The first criteria is you look at the person making the application. With that, you generally look at, is that person basically a responsible person? I give the example of, say, if you had someone with a significant criminal background with alcohol issues applying for a license. That probably would be a bad person to give a license to. In this case, it's Dollar General. In my opinion, they're a responsible company with many, many locations and training we just heard. So that leads us to the second criteria, which is the location. Once again, you do have broad authority as far as looking at the location of the application and determining if that's a proper place for alcohol to be sold. So you do have the authority to approve or deny this based on location. In determining the location, though, this is not a legal opinion. This is just my opinion, which I kind of put in my memo. Availability of alcohol is, I don't know, what is it, about 3-4 football links difference between going to the Dollar General and going to the convenience store down the street. We have various locations throughout this town that sell beer and wine. To me, it would seem kind of an unfair choice or unfair decision, and this is just my opinion, to pick on Dollar General just based on their particular location. In the future, the issues that surround that neighborhood as far as the issues with the motels, it's been raised with me, might change. And if you do deny their application based on their location, you couldn't change. They couldn't reapply later. So, for instance, if the concerns that you have about their location now change, they couldn't reapply later. So this is kind of a one and done situation as far as location goes. Any questions?
One question for you, Garland. If we approve tonight and a year from now or a few months from now when all these licenses come up for renewal and the data from the police department shows that there has been a significant increase in calls to the neighboring facilities that we're concerned about, and we believe that it's tied to the availability of beer and wine at so much closer. Can we make the rightful decision at that point to not renew the license at that point?
From my understanding, I haven't delved into the renewal process, honestly, but from my understanding, that's really the whole point of the renewal process as far as the applications go. It's at that point you're, as a council, are to review the applicants and kind of once again see if it's proper
And if
for them to have that alcohol license.
And if we would not renew because of increased crime, police calls in the area, and then a year later, circumstances changed and the call volume dropped significantly, could we renew if Dollar General reapplied at that point? Or is it once removed, always removed?
If it's denied based on location, it stays the same, right?
Yeah, once an application is denied by location, from my understanding and the reading of the statutes, that applicant can no longer apply at that same location. For instance,
if we denied based on public safety concerns and demand on public safety resources in the area and not location, or am I playing with words?
you're getting in a very detailed question, which I'm always straightforward and tell you if I don't know the answer. And that question I'd have to really dig into it specifically. But I know if a application is denied on location, the location has to move before they can, or the applicant has to move locations before they can reapply.
Right. Okay, thanks.
I think, in my opinion, a year from now, if we give them a license, and it's determined that the alcohol use in that area is too bad, they need to look at that place and the one down the street. Because if they can't get Dollar Store, they're gonna walk down a block and a half and get down there. So if we have that kind of a problem where we gotta deny somebody a license, we need to do it to both places. And I don't think we should do that as a city.
Any other questions for Garland?
So what you're telling me is basically the people that live on Sherman Street in that area are screwed. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, I'm going to be flat out honest with you, okay? And I want to put myself in a position of this. I live at 306 Thompson Avenue, okay? Right next to that facility, okay? The Skyline, okay? I'm also going to tell you that I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict, okay? And I'll also tell you that I have severe PTSD. Now, if you come in my home and you walk in my house, the mayor's been there before. I've got very well-placed weapons throughout my room, my house, okay, as a veteran, okay, to protect myself, okay? I'm also going to tell you that down at the Skyline, I have a couple of people that I know that are veterans, and they do the same thing. Now, this is, to me, is a public safety issue, because if our officers walk into a situation, okay, to where their lives are on line every single time they go down to that Skyline because somebody got drunk, okay, it's a safety issue. It's not public. It's safety, period. It's watching out for somebody's life, okay? I'll also tell you, as an alcoholic and addict in recovery, okay, if I have the choice of walking down the hill to the corner pantry and getting alcohol and walking back up the hill, no, I'm not going to do that. Not if I can walk a flat road, go over, get alcohol, get everything I need at that point, and get back over. And I drink hard. I drink a lot of alcohol, okay? I am a hardcore alcoholic. That's why I had to quit, okay? But I will tell you this much. Even though I know myself as a hardcore alcoholic and bring all the alcohol I can back to my hotel room, if I know that facility is going to stay open until 10, in my mind, I'm going to beat feet back when I get some more alcohol. Now, all your training that you're going to do in your little whatever, in your little videos, You're hardcore alcoholics. There is no way on God's green earth that you're going to know. I used to drive drunk, okay, and wave to officers as I went by. All right? I'm giving you a first-hand perspective on what it's like to be an alcoholic and what it's going to be like over there, okay? And I will tell you, I have 20 years of dealing with the Skyline Hotel. You're doing nothing. We're going to be doing nothing but giving them a loaded gun. That's all we're going to be doing to the Skyline. That's it. That's all we're going to be doing. They're going to get their alcohol. They're going to go over there. New Year's Eve, we could not even have a nice evening because one of the residents over there decided to get in a fight with his brother. Well, he's downtown while we have to deal with the repercussions of alcoholism. It's alcoholism. Okay? All we're doing is enabling these individuals. If we approve this, we're enabling these individuals to keep doing what they do. And as a veteran, I know there's some veterans that live over there. I'm not going to enable my veteran brothers and sisters. There's no way in God's green earth I'm going to do that. Okay? I agree with what Carl's saying. I agree with what Bob's saying. Okay? You know, 20 years of dealing with alcoholic behavior, 20 years of having people go across my property to go to somebody's house to get drugs, to go back to the Skyline to go drinking. Yes, 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 yes. I get it, okay? But now, Jeff, did you say something about 10 places having alcohol and we be one more, then we've reached our max on allowing liquor licenses, I believe, and if we do one more, then am I wrong in hearing that?
These aren't numbered.
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers.
These aren't numbered.
Okay. So that's, you know, anybody can have the rebuttal they want, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't live in my neighborhood over there, okay? I come from a big city, okay? Can you get any more ghetto than this? That's a joke, people. But look at reality. Are you going to see a dollar store down in Cherry and out in Rodeo Drive? Are you going to see any of these dollar stores? They pander to poor people. Wake up, people. They consider us poor. So that's my thoughts. Thank you for not smoking.
I did talk to the owner of the motel, and he says that with the laws there is for renting, you can't just kick somebody out. He said, but if law enforcement is called on anybody at that motel, they will be evicted.
And George is still living there. And his vehicle is parked out on the side of the road with a flat tire. Okay? Why do we have to deal with their problems? Why does they have to line our streets and block emergency vehicles coming up there? This is about alcoholism, people. Wake up.
All right. Garland, thank you for sharing your legal opinion of what the council should use to make a determination about this application. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I'll make sure that everybody understood that the second part of my opinion was directly just a personal opinion, not a legal opinion, okay?
I have a question for you. Is it legally viable for us to make a decision about one business over the situation that another business is in? Is that challengeable?
Well, as far as my reading, you know, as far as if you want to use the location standard, the city has a really broad discretion about that. Basically meaning, I don't see anything prohibiting you denying this license based on another business.
Even though that business has one across town that has no problems.
Like I said, me reading the case law on this, as far as location is concerned, there's a great deference to your opinion as far as is it a proper location or not. So if you have criteria concerning as far as what we've been discussing as far as possible crime or alcohol issues tied to this particular location, I see that being a viable decision as far as legally.
Okay. Thank you.
So I have a question then. Would it not be considered a discrimination against this business for past practices at another business within its location? If we denied this, would we not be discriminating against that business, Dollar General?
Well, there's a particular case, I think I cited it in my memo, and that exact question was brought up. A municipality denied one application based on its location, and basically 2 doors down approved a license. And so the person that got denied brought suit against the municipality. And our Supreme Court basically said the municipality they had reasons, and they gave the deference or the power, the authority to that municipality. So they didn't see it as being arbitrary, even though it was basically 2 doors down from the one that was denied.
In my personal opinion, and I appreciate, Larry, everything that you said, don't think I don't, but I feel we'd be discriminating against this business to allow them their right to sell a product based on past practices at another business within its location or close location, not knowing what's going to happen down the road. We can't anticipate that. But I think it would be discriminating against that business if we denied them the opportunity to get this application approved and sell a product. Just my opinion.
It could be challenged. I think that you feel that it's arbitrary in nature, so you're telling us what case law has said when it was challenged. The fact that it could be challenged is very real.
Oh, it could. If you deny it, Dollar General could challenge it, and yeah, we could. I'm not using this. I'm not saying this to influence your opinion anyway. But I mean, there's many things you can end up in court. But as far as the case law I read concerning this particular statute and concerning location choice, our Supreme Court has given you great authority as far as that's concerned. In that particular, like I said, in that particular case, the businesses were almost side by side. One business got approved, one business didn't. Our Supreme Court has said that was okay.
Well, I'm just concerned for this council. We have residences that are within a city block of many other places in this community that sell alcohol. And granted, there are not the problems that we've heard about in that location. In our other areas, nothing says it can't happen. We don't know if it could happen. Same with Dollar General. It hasn't happened. Past practice shows it has, but not because of Dollar General. And I think it would be a discrimination if we did not allow or approve this application.
You know, based on what you're saying, JR, okay, let's go back a couple of years, all right? I went to the safety meeting one time because I had got sick and tired of this. Previously, before, I had called in and said what was going on. I'm more than willing to come in to testify to whatever you need me to do. I will take photographs. I will get tags. I will get pictures of people. You know, and even now I'm still willing to do that. And it still goes on, okay? It's not just about, and I understand, I get what you're saying, okay? All due respect, sir, okay? I get what you're saying, but I also know we're not going to be able to stop the alcoholism, the drug abuse, all the other crap that goes on over there. I realize that, and I'm not being a dry dream, okay? But I will say it like this, okay? is that watching the drug activity go on, alcohol and drug activity go hand in hand, okay? It goes hand in hand. Standing there in the street, watching individual pull up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, it sounds like I got nothing better to do. Probably not, but I need to get a social life, I know that. So, but watching somebody pull up, stick their hand out, go like this, shake hands, go like that, drive off, come on. If you've never witnessed that before, then you probably don't know what's going on. But when it goes on all the time and you witness it and you see it, you know what's going on. Drug activity is going on out of the skyline, meth, okay? Drugs, okay? I've sat there long enough through the years knowing all this stuff. I watched an individual one day run up the street, death by cop. He wanted to get shot by the police. This was when Chief Close was on the force, okay? I witnessed one morning some young man was something about his wife, and they had to go out there and talk this person down, okay? We individuals that live within the area where Carl's talking about, we're sick and tired of it, okay? We're sick and tired of it. That's the bottom line, is that we're sick and tired of it. To me, if we prove this thing, fine, okay? So be it. But I will be watching, and I'll be watching the police and making sure that, not watching y'all, let me rephrase that, police. That's not the way it wanted to come out. I'll be watching activity down there, because if it comes out for renewal, I'm still going to come back hard at this thing again. No disrespect, Mayor, but do you want Mayberry back? You always say, what's the right thing to do? I'm not going to be, personally, I don't want to be threatened by somebody coming in and suing me because they didn't get what they wanted. I don't believe one little freaking store in South Dakota in Hot Springs, America, is going to put this business, put them out of business. One little freaking store. I don't think it's going to do that. I think they're going to survive, and I think they're going to be okay, personally. I'm done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garland.
All right. Any other questions? I am available.
Any more from the public?
Sorry, I just feel compelled to approach one more time. I would like to have it understood, and Carl, forgive me, I'm going to speak for you also here. I am not concerned about the liquor license being sold to Dollar General. It's immaterial to me. My concern is having an establishment there, whether it's Dollar General, whether it's Family Dollar, whether it's Yesway, whether it's Corner Pantry, whether it's whoever. I don't feel that particular spot is doing the neighborhood a service by handling alcoholic beverages. This is a public hearing. You wanted to hear from the public. This is what the public in that area is saying. We don't feel the need for the alcoholic beverages there, regardless who is applying for it. I've got no problems with Dollar General, with Dollar General. I think they're running a nice business up there. I've not been in the news store yet. I'm sure it's wonderful. My beef is not with Dollar General applying for a liquor license. It's having an establishment selling alcoholic beverages in that location. I walk by that location at least twice a day, every day. I don't want it to have additional jeopardy to either my safety or my wife's safety as we walk because of people under the influence that have got an easy access to alcohol at that point. Thank you.
All right, so just to sum up what Garland has shared, correct me where I may go wrong. The two things that the council needs to consider as far as approving or disapproving this application is the character of the applicant. Do they fit? Do they deserve to have this application and the location? And the council has broad discretion on how they determine whether the location is appropriate or not. Is that correct?
Correct.
And if it's denied, then Dollar General can never ask for, request a liquor license in that location. If Family Thrift or somebody comes in, they could, but Dollar General can't. Once the council denies Dollar General, if council denies Dollar General their application, they're done. They can't request one in the future.
Correct.
At that location.
At that location, yes. Chief Winscott had mentioned that she had run some numbers from last year to this year. And Bill, I believe you have those numbers. Do you want to speak to those?
Sure. The number of calls that the chief provided are broken down a couple of ways: law enforcement calls and ambulance calls. Numbers by the pre-owners, pre the new owners, and since the new owners.
Excuse me, when you say new owners, that's of the Skyline?
Yes, at the Skyline.
Thank you.
How long have they had that?
Well, the data that we had available to us was from January 1st, 2020 through December 24, 2021. The previous owners had it 263 days, and for the data set, the new owners had it 461 days. So under the old owners, there were 51 law enforcement calls and 5 ambulance calls. For the time period of the new owners, there were 87 law enforcement calls and 15 ambulance calls. Now, since there's such a difference in the number of days, I broke it down into calls per day. So you may have to listen closely. Under the previous owners, there was 0.194 calls per day for law enforcement. Under the new owners, there was 0.189 calls per day. So really not much difference, a little less with the new owners. On ambulance calls, there was 0.019 calls per day. Under the new owners, there was 0.033 calls per day. So almost double the number of ambulance calls on a rate. So a little bit less on law enforcement calls and about double the number of ambulance calls on a rate, based on a rate. So I guess bottom line, we've not seen the improvement we had hoped for under the new owners. I'll not make any judgments. I know they've said they're working on it, and there are some constraints that they're up against, but that's the data.
Counsel, is there anything else you need to know from the folks that have spoken or our attorney?
Can I just say, I want to thank Larry Councilman Pratt for sharing his heart. He opened up and shared a part of himself that not many of us will do on a very difficult subject. So regardless of how the vote goes, Larry, thank you for what you said. Truly respect you for what you said and what you shared, and you have a perspective on the situation that not everybody has. So thank you for sharing that.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank everybody up here. Thank the audience too, and everybody out in the general public.
Craig, I believe you had mentioned that you had spoken with the owner of the business in question, the one that's, and
I did.
had indicated that if there were, if someone had, if someone calls the police to respond to alcohol out there, then he's on board with evicting?
That's what he told me.
But we haven't seen that since he took ownership of the business.
I cannot say.
Which makes the decision that much more difficult.
In response to that, Mayor, I can say that. I haven't seen any changes whatsoever down there, and I see the same individuals still living down there. One of the unique positions I have in this community is being a transit bus driver, and there's a lot of information out in the general public that people will talk to a bus driver about, and it's not about being a council person. It's about driving the bus, and people will talk to me, and they will tell me things. And I've had numerous opportunities to drive my bus over there to get people from the Skyline, and I see the same individuals there all the time. I see the alcohol. I see them walking. I see it firsthand, and I haven't seen anything change.
All right. One more time, Council. Do you have any more questions you need to ask? All right, so what's in front of you is a possible motion to act on the application from Dolgen Midwest. Misty, would you call the roll, please?
David Burris.
No.
He heard me. It's okay. J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
I know we're not supposed to editorialize with our vote. A very, very reluctant yes.
Larry Pratt.
No.
Craig Romey.
I agree with Bill. I've got 3 constituents that live in that ward that I got to kind of represent. No.
Your vote is no.
No.
Linda Varvel.
No.
You have 3 yeses and 4 noes.
The motion fails. Thank you, Council. I recognize how difficult this decision is. On to new business. New business item A, a possible motion discussion to authorize and approve allocating future contingency dollars.
I make a motion to approve the authorization and allocating future contingency dollars of $3,750 to update the 2016 City of Hot Springs, South Dakota Housing Study.
Second.
Discussion? When Andrea Powers was going to speak with us tonight, she was going to speak specifically about this particular issue. The housing study was last done in 2016, and she is recommending that we get it updated for the city and developers to be eligible for grants and for funding from Governor's Office of Economic Development. It's important that this particular study be as up-to-date as possible to be eligible for those particular grants. This particular one is a 50-50 grant. The council would be approving $3,750 towards a $700 or $7,500 grant. The other money comes from the South Dakota Housing Group. They fund the other 50% of that. So what you're approving is $3,750 to update the 2016 study. If that's something you want to do, it's important that we approve it because all of the other communities across the state are also going to be asking for these particular monies to update their housing studies. Any other questions?
And when you say housing studies, can you elucidate on that a little bit more?
They come in and take a look at Hot Springs and see how many, homes are vacant, how many are available, the age of the homes, the locations of the homes, just the breakdown of what we have within the community.
The 2016 study is available on the city's website for comparison of what they analyze.
They look at it, they project growth, the number of homes that will be needed in the future, for that projected growth.
Thank you, Mayor.
I have a question. How often is this study conducted, or?
The last one was done in 2016. I don't.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't have one before.
Oh, okay.
And this helps us to open up what doors as far as our situation of not having enough homes or housing for those.
Potential funding sources from the Governor's Office of Economic Development.
Okay, so it's, okay.
For private homeowners themselves to apply for, assistance from the state, for developers to apply for assistance from the state. We all know that Hot Springs is in desperate need of homes. Excuse me, our city administrator is currently living in Buffalo Gap.
In response to Councilwoman Ward's question, there's not a mandate on how often we have to do those, but what happens is as the developers and us apply for grants back up, they oftentimes require a current within the last 5 years anyway. But the more current, the better for those grant applications.
Oh, okay.
Is that grant applications for everything or just housing things? Like when we want to get a grant for putting in water at the golf course, things like that, does this study help get that grant?
I don't know that it would apply directly. It may be a reference, a source reference when we apply for other grants. This is specifically for housing.
Yeah. In reference to water and sewer, you approved paying A2E to update the facilities assessment. That's where those requests would come from, is that particular study. This one wouldn't be for Water Creek. This would be housing.
So basically, this is information for loan institutes and contractors and developers that are going to come to see what we are short on, what they can apply for. That's the way I read it, yes.
That's correct.
Okay. I wasn't sure what the way I read it when I was reading it at home. I wasn't sure if this was something of a rural, something just going on in the state. You're talking about something that's federally reviewed then for all information.
This particular one's reviewed at the state level, the Governor's Office of Economic Development.
And I'm assuming that the federal government will take a look at it for our region anyway. All right.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item B, a possible motion, discussion to approve and authorize the finance officer to sign the intergovernmental contract.
I make a motion to approve and authorize the finance officer to sign the intergovernmental contract for the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance.
Second.
Discussion? Misty, is there anything else you'd like to share about it?
I planned on sharing during my finance officer report, but I can share now. If you were here for the audit last year, you remember my soapbox issue with our asset that we have from the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance because of the years that we've been members. And this eliminates that and changes it. So we had a significant change to that caused an issue on our balance sheet, and we're going to be reversing all that this year because of it. So we'll have notes on our financial statements because we have a $178,000 asset that we've listed, and they're no longer giving municipalities that pull out any type of their premiums back. So I'll be removing that asset, and that'll have to be with an offsetting expense we did not budget for. But that's a continuation of my soapbox issue I had last year when we increased that dollar amount from somewhere in the 60,000 to 178, and now the following year they're doing away with it completely. So at least after we get done feeling the impacts of this one more year, we won't have it to deal with after this.
So that was a good speech on the soapbox.
Oh, it will be good in the after this year.
Next year.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item C, a possible motion discussion to approve the requested tax abatements.
Make a motion to approve the requested tax abatement as presented and submitted by the County of Fall River Director of Equalization, Val Hurst, for $6,290.95.
Second the motion.
Discussion?
Is this that thing that we passed?
No, the residential tax rebates, no. This was somebody who qualifies for the veterans exemption and didn't get it and had to go back.
Okay.
This is different than that.
And these requests originate with the county?
Correct.
And then once they approve them, they're passed on to us?
Yes, because it's in the city limits.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item D, a possible motion and discussion to approve an automatic budget supplement.
Make a motion to approve an automatic budget supplement of $418.18 to the Police Department Vehicle Repairs and Maintenance 101-42100-42510 reimbursement revenue received from Claims Associates, Inc., claim number CG 2021108022, collision damage on 9/2/21, 2020 Dodge Durango.
Second.
Discussion?
I didn't get the second, I'm sorry.
Larry?
Larry, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item E, possible motion and discussion to schedule a public hearing.
I make a motion to schedule a public hearing on 2/7/22 at 7:10 PM on the proposed assessment roll for the 2021 Martin Street Sewer and Water Improvement Project.
Second.
Discussion? For the council, as a reminder, this project has been completed. It was completed ahead of schedule. Well, that's good. All right. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item F, a possible motion discussion to schedule a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing on February 7th, 2022 at 7:20 PM to act on the temporary alcoholic beverage license application from the Mammoth Spring site for their Murder Mystery Night event, scheduled for April 29th and April 30th at the Mammoth site, 1800 US Highway 18 bypass.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item G, possible motion discussion to reappoint Kara Hagan and Brian Crawford.
I make a motion to reappoint Kara Hagan and Brian Crawford to the Historic Preservation Commission for 3-year terms, 2022 to 2024.
Second.
Discussion? Brian and Kara have been doing this a while. I appreciate both of them participating in this. It's not always easy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Congratulations or condolences, whichever one is appropriate. New business item H, possible motion discussion to approve the travel training request.
Make a motion to approve the travel training request from Southern Hills Golf Course Superintendent Jason Happy to attend the GCSAA Turfgrass Seminar in Sioux Falls 3/6/22 to 3/9/22.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session in accordance with SDCL 1-25-2, 1, personnel.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Jeff and Misty, would you join us, please? All right, Misty, you've got us all back?
10:05 PM.
All right.
Where's Jeff at?
He left.
So need a motion on Resolution B, Resolution 2022-6, resolution to increase the hiring top of scale.
Okay. I make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-6, a resolution to increase top of scale wage for the position of police officer, amending that to also include police captain, part-time lifeguard, and part-time head lifeguard.
Second.
Yeah.
Nope.
Also amending police officer top of scale to be $26 an hour, police captain to be $30 an hour.
Second.
Discussion?
I'd like to qualify that present officers will be placed at the same step that they are presently at, only on the new wage scale. Is that my understanding?
Yes, that's what was discussed. So to repeat what the motion was just amended as, police officer as proposed was top of scale of $24. That's been amended to go to $26. And add the police captain position to the resolution, top of scale at 30, leaving the lifeguards and the head lifeguard as is. Any other questions? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
David Burris,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Craig Romey,
Yes.
Linda Varvel.
Yes.
The motion passes. With council consent, I would like to ask that we forego the committee reports, finance officer, city administrator, and mayor reports for tonight. It's been a long evening, and I would ask that we adjourn for the evening.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion?
Third, fourth, and fifth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you, council.
I beat you to it this time, Craig.